Hey, what's up guys? Jaeky here. Today I'm going to be going over the best settings for the Wooting 80HE. I'm going to be going over the settings that you want to use if you want to get the best performance out of your keyboard. So let's get right into it. So first things first, you want to go over to v5.wutility.io. As of this video, v5 is currently in pre-release, so you will have to type in v5.wutility.io. But I imagine in the future, when v5 is ready to be fully released, this will just change to the default wutility.io. So depending on when you're watching this video, you will either go to wutility.io or v5.wutility.io. Once you go to this page, you will have to allow your browser to connect to the 80HE. So you're just going to click on allow your browser to connect, and it should automatically connect to the 80HE. Do its thing, and it should also update the firmware if there's any firmware updates available. But if you want to manually check for any firmware updates, all you need to do is go over to the settings tab, click on updates here, and then just click on check for updates, and this will check for any updates on your 80HE. So after you make sure that the keyboard is fully up to date, you're going to go back to the keyboard settings here, and we're just going to start with the quick settings tab. So you can see here we are currently changing the typing profile. If you do want to make a new profile, you can do that. We're just going to click on new profile here. We're going to click on custom profile here to make sure we start with a completely blank slate. And then we're going to click on continue. Now we're just going to name the profile. I'm just going to call mine Jaeky, and then you can select which slot you want to use. I'm going to do none for now, but you can select any of these slots. And the reason I'm doing none is because I just want to manually drag it in. So you're going to go custom profile, press continue. And now if we go over to my profiles, you can see here in the inactive profiles, we have our profile here, and we can just drag it into the onboard profiles. And now it is on the onboard memory of our keyboard. So now we're just going to go back to quick settings, and inside of here, we can pretty much change all of the main things. First things first, what you want to do is make sure you turn on tachyon mode, and this will make sure that you are running the keyboard at 8000 Hertz polling rate, which will give you the least amount of input lag. As you can see, we are currently at 0.125 milliseconds, and this will just make sure that every key press responds as fast as possible. Now, do keep in mind that when you have tachyon mode on, this will limit some of the RGB effects on your keyboard, and you will not be able to use any dynamic RGB effects. You will only be able to use static RGB. So if you do want to use RGB effects, then you will have to disable tachyon mode. Also guys, make sure whenever you're changing settings, you press save to keyboard in the top right here. This will make sure that your profile gets saved onto the onboard memory on your keyboard. So now that tachyon mode is enabled, we're going to go over now to actuation point. And inside of here, we're going to select all keys. And I like to play with all of my keys set to 1mm actuation, just like that. We're going to save that to our keyboard. And now we can go in and fine adjust the specific keys that we want. So for example, your movement keys. So I'm just going to discard everything, manually select my movement keys, which is WASD. And now you can select anywhere between 0.1 and 0.5. So if you want the most responsive experience for your movement keys, you can do 0.1. But if you find yourself fat fingering those movement keys on 0.1, you can try 0.5. And then if you really want it less sensitive, you can do 1.0. So it's really up to you. You can do anywhere between 0.1 and 1.0 millimeters. And that will give you a really fast experience. It's just up to personal preference. I'm just going to put mine on 0.5 for now, and I'm going to press save to keyboard. One other key that I like to change is the spacebar, because I find that the spacebar on 1mm is a little bit too sensitive. So what I like to do is we're going to discard all the selections, just select our spacebar here. I like to put my spacebar on 2mm because I do rest my thumb on my spacebar, and I find that on 1mm sometimes I will accidentally press my spacebar. So I do like to set the spacebar here to 2mm, and we're just going to save that right there. And then one more thing I like to change is the Windows key. I like to put the Windows key all the way down at 4mm so that if I accidentally brush it, it doesn't activate it. So now we're going to go down to the rapid trigger settings, and what we're going to do here is again select all of the keys, and we're just going to enable rapid trigger for every key. And for the rapid trigger sensitivity, I like to play on 0.15mm, which is the absolute lowest that the rapid trigger will go. And this will just make sure that as soon as you lift your finger off of any key, it will immediately register that key as deactivated. And obviously you can play around with this if you find 0.15 is too sensitive. I know for some people, like for their shift key, they like to change it because they find that on 0.15, like if they're shift walking, sometimes they'll accidentally let go of shift even just a little bit and their character will start running. So it's really up to you, but I have no issues playing with every key on the highest sensitivity. So that's what I do. And then I don't separate press and release sensitivity, and I also don't use continuous rapid trigger. and then I just press save to keyboard and you're good to go. Moving down to RGB, since we do have tachyon mode enabled, obviously we're not going to be able to use any dynamic RGB effects. If you want to use static RGB, you can, but I don't like using RGB on my keyboard. So what I like to do is I like to select black and just black everything out. And the reason I don't turn the brightness all the way down is because I still like my caps lock key to light up, so I know that if caps lock is on or not. And then you can also change the color of the caps lock key. So if I wanted it to be yellow, I would select yellow, just click on this little circle right here. And as you can see, my caps lock key is now yellow. So that's why I don't turn the brightness down. I actually like to black out all the keys individually. And so yeah, I don't like to play with RGB, but yeah, so I turn it off and then just click save, and that's all I do. So the light indicator is really just personal preference. You can do a lot with this, whatever you want. You can do a caps lock indicator so that you know when the caps lock is enabled, but I really don't see a need for that since the caps lock already lights up by itself. So there's a bunch of different things you can do as well. They're going to be adding like RAM usage and CPU usage in the future, but you will need a different program to download onto your computer to monitor that. So you can do that if you want. But yeah, the LED bar is really up to you. You can even disable it if you want, but I will leave the LED bar up to you guys. Down on the remap section, if you want to remap your keys, you can. I'm not going to touch this. And then now in advanced keys, you can use Rappy, Snappy, or SOCD. There's really no point in using either of these features anymore, just because in CS2, Valve actually banned SOCD, so you can't even use it anymore. If you try to use SOCD in CS2, it will just kick you out of the server. And in Valorant, SOCD is not really that useful to begin with. So if you do play like Overwatch maybe, then SOCD might be worth turning on. And if you do want to turn on SOCD, you just want to click on this, assign your first key to your first strafe, and then your second strafe key, which is typically going to be A and D. And then you just press continue and make sure this is on last input priority. And that's pretty much it. You're just going to press done here. And now you can see that SOCD is enabled for my A and D key, and you can just save that to your keyboard. Me personally, I don't use SOCD whatsoever, so I'm just going to remove that. And then dynamic keystroke, mod tap, and stuff like that is really just quality of life stuff that you guys can use depending on your workflow and what you like to do. I don't use any of these features though. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to ignore the gamepad tab because I don't use this keyboard as a gamepad, but if you do, you can mess around with this tab right here. But that's pretty much it, guys. So one more thing I want to note is if you want to share your profile, you can just go to my profiles here, click on these three dots and press on share, and that will copy a code to your clipboard that you can send to anybody if you want to share your Wooting settings. I will have my profile linked down below in the description so that you guys can use it if you want. But that's pretty much it, guys. That was the best settings for the Wooting 80HE. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.